come to this country. Some walk a long journey across the border. Some bond to a company as a labor force or work as an au pair. Some are dreamers. And there's the other kind.
I'm legally an alien of extraordinary ability in the US.
I'm an alien of extraordinary ability.
I am an alien of extraordinary ability. I work at a studio space shared with a group of artists. Well, you can guess. Some of them are extraordinary aliens. My greatest inspirations comes from the heart of my dearest rule-bending friends, whom very often misuse and reappropriate technology in order to create new tools for creative expressions and reimagine our presence in our society. My friend Surya and a team of reporters parked a motorboat in a lagoon near the Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach and pointed a wireless antenna that resembled a potato gun at the club. They found open Wi-Fi networks, servers with outdated and vulnerable software, and unencrypted login pages to backend databases. Vulnerabilities in the Wi-Fi networks can take over devices like computers or smartphones and use them to record conversations involving anyone on the premises.
You're going to be interviewing me as the blob.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm legally an alien of extraordinary ability in the US. So it's a visa status in which you basically need to show that the kind of work you do is exceptional or extraordinary to justify coming here by showing that the kind of work they do no one else does in the US. I worked as a contributing researcher on a series called Machine Bias. Machine Bias is a series in which we looked at a variety of different algorithmic systems, everything ranging from Amazon's pricing algorithms to Facebook's ad category selection algorithms to algorithmic systems that are used in the prison system to determine who's likely to commit a crime again. These are called risk assessment tools that are being used to determine the likelihood of someone committing a crime again. So really a variety of different systems, and showed how they all can reflect systemic biases, which also they can be racist and sexist and all of these things.
After years working in the United States as an alien of extraordinary ability, Surya was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize. However, during our interview, he was worried that he may have to leave the country because of a new executive order.
Buy American, Hire American is an executive order that was put forth by the new administration in early 2017.
We're really strange. We're strange people. And sometimes we lose sight of how strange we are. We start figuring out.
Being constantly asked, what are you? Which is such a insensitive question, I feel like, and for me to constantly need to confirm to other people that I'm an American and I should be living here and I have the right to live here, but I'm always seen as an other, an outsider. I feel like we're losing touch with the idea of why immigrants come to this country. Most people come to our country because they want a better life for themselves and or their family.
I don't want to be the aliens with extraordinary abilities anymore, because the second time that I got that type of visa, it was after 6 months waiting, being 3 months away from the States, and I arrived here. I came back just 1 week before the elections, and that's when Trump got elected. So I knew that things weren't looking better for immigrants in general, and not for me, certainly.
Going to distribute a score for you all?
Yes, my artistic work has changed a lot since I arrived to the States, because I've been exposed to I've been exposed to work and lifestyles and to a life in general that has inspired me in different directions that I know I wasn't heading when I was living in Europe. So to get the Alliance visa, I had to prove that I was established as an artist, that I had a career already that I had built up, and show the records of performances or exhibitions or different proofs of my artistic work here or in Europe. I mean, the process is very long. Like, I had to collect around, I don't remember, but like 15 letters, like recommendation letters from different artists, curators, or directors of foundations that I have worked with, and then collect all the press records from my artistic career, and then also collect proofs of the places where I had presented my work, that those were places that had like international recognition. It's very hard, the whole process, and I feel that I don't want, after my last application, which was my second one, I decided that I wouldn't apply for that visa again, because it's very stressful. It feels very random, like your life, it's depending on, like, I haven't seen any proof that because I have these qualifications and I know I have this and this that they are asking for, it's going to be accepted and I shouldn't worry. Like, it feels very random, and it feels on the hands of if the officer that is looking at my case is having a good day or not.
I don't think there's really anything much in the law. I feel like the law is like, be extraordinary. Full stop. Use your personal discretion to like decide what that is.
Whose personal discretion?
Oh, that's the terrifying thing. I mean, who wants to have American border security use their personal discretion?
In the custom and border, you have a lot of stress already. They're like real security people and stuff, and then they ask you like, so what makes you an artist? It's like, all these questions is like really hard to answer, like if you're American or not.
It's just a guy who's saying, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I'm an artist. I've been making art. What are we talking about here? Am I having a conceptual discussion about like what artwork I make, and is it valuable?
No, it's not very nice.
No.
It makes you feel kind of like weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that you don't feel like weird or awkward enough already, but it's like you have to officially be recognized as weird and awkward. And then people can actually use that against you. It's a problem.
In Australia, it tends to be like you've really chosen to do odd and strange things, and you want people to like look at you and pay attention. When I don't know, most of the time I just want people to ignore me and not give me a hard time for being a little odd or strange. And so every time anyone came to look at things, it sprayed the spaghetti with expensive French spring water, and it basically cold cooked it. Like, so every time it's sprayed, the spaghetti would get a little more kind of like droopy. And so the more people that came to see it, the faster it sort of like sagged. I make works that are fun and silly, and about how humans are fun and silly.
Funny, I think I'm not able to say that properly. I'm an alien of extraordinary ability. Makes you feel like a little bit of a superpower, a superhero. And it's funny, whenever you go abroad and you come back in and you go to immigration, And they always look at your passport and they see that you have an O1. Then they look at you and they'll be like, oh, so what do you do then? And, you know, that's always interesting because I say, I draw. And then they're like, well, wait, you draw and now you're on an O1? And then it's happened to me a few times, they'll just Google you there. And then they're like, oh, yeah, I like your stuff. Who are you? I'm Chantal Martin, but that's my name. And as a person, I'm a questioner, thinker, a wanderer. You know, I'm trying to figure out through my art who we are and how to actually answer that question. I used to say home is where the futon is, because when I lived in Japan, I moved around so much, and it just seemed like home was wherever I could roll out my futon. And you know, now, you know, home, I'm still not sure what home is. I feel like I'm one of these people that's always been searching for a home, and since I was a kid, I've moved so much, and as an adult, I've also moved so much. And you know, I think of that from a different perspective. I lived in Japan where we were called gaijin, you know, gaikokujin, which literally means outsider. And then I moved to New York. So when I moved to New York, I didn't feel like a gaijin anymore. I felt like I was an outsider on the inside. And you bring a different perspective, you bring a different history, you bring a different story. And that's something that shouldn't be underestimated, and that's something that should be hugely valued. So, you know, if you feel like you're being bitter, or if you feel like, you know, things are too much and you don't like it here anymore, remember why you came in the first place. Because I think for a lot of us, we forget why we came. And we came for the opportunities and the people and the energy and the potential. And then we get too complacent or too comfortable and we forget why we came in the first place.
Imagine a world where everyone has to provide evidence of how extraordinary they are periodically. Otherwise, they will be asked to leave. I think there should be a category not about how extraordinary a person is, but what a person could become if he or she stays. And then I will get to go around and tell more stories about people of extraordinary ability and how to become one.